Chapter 4 The Quiet House. Mrs. Dovetail was buried in the graveyard in the city within the city, where generations of royal servants lay. Daisy and her father stood hand in hand, looking down at the grave for a long time. Bert kept looking back at Daisy as his tearful mother and grim-faced father led him slowly away. Bert wanted to say something to his best friend, but what had happened was too enormous and dreadful for words. Bert could hardly bear to imagine how he'd feel if his mother had disappeared forever into the cold, hard earth. When all their friends had gone, Mr. Dovetail moved the purple wreath sent by the king away from Mrs. Dovetail's headstone and put in its place the small bunch of snowdrops that Daisy had collected that morning. Then the two Dovetails walked slowly home to a house they knew would never be the same again. A week after the funeral, the king rode out of the palace with a royal guard to go hunting. As usual, everyone along his route came rushing out into their gardens to bow, curtsy, and cheer. As the king bowed and waved back, he noticed that the front garden of one cottage remained empty. It had black drapes at the windows and the front door. "Who lives there?" he asked Major Beamish. That's the Dovetail house, Your Majesty," said Beamish. "Dovetail, Dovetail," said the king, frowning. "I've heard that name, haven't I?" Yes, sire," said Major Beamish. "Mr. Dovetail is Your Majesty's carpenter, and Mrs. Dovetail was Your Majesty's head seamstress."
"Oh, yes,"
said King Fred hurriedly. I remember." And spurring his milk-white charger into a canter, he rode swiftly past the black-draped windows of the Dovetail cottage, trying to think of nothing but the day's hunting that lay ahead. But every time the king rode out after that, he couldn't help but fix his eyes on the empty garden and the black-draped door of the Dovetail residence, and every time he saw the cottage, the image of the dead seamstress clutching the amethyst button came back to him. Finally, he could bear it no longer and summoned the chief advisor to him. "Herringbone," he said, not looking the old man in the eye, "there's a house on the corner, on the way to the park. Rather a nice cottage, largish garden." "The Dovetail house, Your Majesty." "Oh, that's who lives there, is it?" said King Fred airily. "Well, it occurs to me that it's rather a big place for a small family. I think I've heard there are only two of them. Is that correct?" "Perfectly correct, Your Majesty. Just two, since the mother—" "It doesn't really seem fair, Herringbone," King Fred said loudly, "for that nice, spacious cottage to be given to only two people, when there are families of 5 or 6, I believe, who'd be happy with a little more room." "You'd like me to move the Dovetails, Your Majesty?" "Yes, I think so," said King Fred, pretending to be very interested in the tip of his satin shoe. "Very well, Your Majesty," said the chief advisor with a deep bow. "I shall ask them to swap with Roach's family, who I'm sure would be glad of more space, and I shall put the Dovetails in the Roach's
"House."
"And where is that exactly?" asked the king nervously, for the last thing he wanted was to see those black drapes even nearer the palace gates, right on the edge of the city within the city, said the chief advisor, very close to the graveyard in a That sounds suitable, interrupted King Fred, leaping to his feet. I've no need of details. Just make it happen, Herringbone. There's a good chap. And so Daisy and her father were instructed to swap houses with the family of Captain Roach, who, like Bert's father, was a member of the King's Royal Guard. The next time King Fred rode out, the black drapes had vanished from the door, and Roach children, four strapping brothers, the one who's first christened Bert Beamish Butterball, came running into the front garden and jumped up and down, cheering and waving cornucopian flags. King Fred beamed and waved back at the boys. Weeks passed, and King Fred forgot all about the dovetails and was happy again.
Bab 4. Rumah yang sunyi. Nyonya Dovetail dimakamkan di kuburan di kota dalam kota, tempat beberapa generasi pelayan kerajaan dimakamkan. Daisy dan ayahnya berdiri bergandengan tangan, menatap kuburan tersebut beberapa lama. Bert terus memandangi Daisy ketika ibunya yang menangis dan ayahnya yang berwajah suram menariknya perlahan. Bert ingin mengatakan sesuatu kepada sahabatnya, tetapi apa yang terjadi terlalu sulit untuk diucapkan dengan kata-kata. Bert tidak sanggup membayangkan bagaimana perasaannya jika ibunya menghilang selamanya ke bumi yang dingin dan keras. Ketika semua teman mereka pergi, Tuan Dovetail memindahkan karangan bunga ungu yang dikirim raja menjauh dari nisan Nyonya Dovetail dan meletakkan setumpuk butiran salju yang dikumpulkan Daisy pagi itu. Kemudian, keduanya berjalan perlahan pulang ke rumah yang tidak akan pernah sama lagi. Seminggu setelah pemakaman, raja bepergian keluar istana bersama dengan pengawal kerajaan untuk berburu. Seperti biasa, semua orang di sepanjang perjalanannya bergegas ke kebun mereka untuk membungkuk, memberi hormat, dan bersorak. Ketika raja membungkuk dan melambai kembali, dia memperhatikan bahwa taman depan dari salah satu pondok tetap kosong. Ada tirai hitam pada jendela dan pintu depannya. "Siapa yang tinggal di sana?" tanyanya kepada Mayor Beamish. Itu rumah keluarga Dovetail yang mulia," kata Beamish. Dovetail, kata raja mengerutkan keningnya. "Sepertinya aku pernah mendengar nama tersebut." Iya tuan," kata Mayor Beamish. "Tuan Dovetail adalah tukang kayu yang mulia, dan Nyonya Dovetail adalah dulunya kepala penjahit yang mulia." "Ah ya," kata Raja Fred terburu-buru. Aku ingat." Selagi memacu kuda putihnya dengan agak cepat, dia melaju melewati jendela-jendela bertirai hitam pondok Dovetail, mencoba untuk tidak memikirkan apapun selain perburuan pada hari itu. Tetapi setiap kali raja berkuda setelah kejadian itu, dia tidak bisa mengalihkan perhatiannya pada taman yang kosong dan pintu bertirai hitam di kediaman keluarga Dovetail. Dan setiap kali dia melihat pondok tersebut, bayangan penjahit yang mati sambil menggenggam kancing ametis kembali padanya. Akhirnya, dia tidak tahan lagi dan memanggil kepala penasehat. "Herringbone," katanya tanpa menatap laki-laki tua itu, "ada sebuah rumah di sudut jalan menuju taman. Pondok yang bagus. Kebunnya lumayan besar." "Rumah keluarga Dovetail yang mulia?" "Oh, itu keluarga yang tinggal di sana ya," kata Raja Fred dengan enteng. Aku pikir tempat itu agak besar untuk sebuah keluarga kecil. Aku dengar hanya ada 2 anggota keluarga yang tinggal di situ. Benarkah? Benar sekali, Yang Mulia. Hanya 2 orang semenjak sang ibu. Rasanya tidak adil, Herringbone, kata Raja Fred dengan lantang. Pondok yang luas dan bagus itu hanya diberikan kepada 2 orang. Sementara ada keluarga lain dengan jumlah 5 atau 6 orang yang menurutku akan senang dengan tempat tinggal yang lebih luas. Anda ingin saya memindahkan keluarga Dovetails, Yang Mulia? Ya, kurasa begitu, kata Raja Fred sambil berpura-pura sibuk dengan ujung sepatu satinnya. Baiklah, Yang Mulia, kata kepala penasehat sambil membungkuk dalam. Saya akan meminta mereka untuk bertukar dengan keluarga Roach. Saya yakin mereka akan senang dengan rumah yang lebih luas dan saya akan menempatkan keluarga Dovetails di rumah keluarga Roach. Dan di manakah itu? Tanya sang raja dengan gelisah, karena dia tidak ingin melihat tirai hitam itu mendekati gerbang istana. Tepat di tepi kota dalam kota, kata kepala penasehat. Sangat dekat dengan kuburan, tidak kedengarannya cocok, sela Raja Fred sambil melompat berdiri. Aku tidak perlu tahu detailnya. Lakukan saja, Herringbone, terima kasih. Maka, Daisy dan ayahnya diperintahkan untuk bertukar rumah dengan keluarga Kapten Roach, yang seperti ayah Bert juga adalah anggota pengawal kerajaan. Pada kesempatan berikutnya, ketika Raja Fred berkuda, tirai hitam tersebut telah menghilang dari pintu dan anak-anak keluarga Roach, 4 anak laki-laki bersaudara yang tegap. Mereka adalah yang pertama kali memanggil Bert Beamish dengan sebutan bola mentega, berlari ke taman depan dan berlompat-lompat, bersorak dan melambaikan bendera cornucopia. Raja Fred berseri-seri dan membalas lambaian anak-anak. Minggu demi minggu berlalu dan Raja Fred melupakan semua tentang Dovetails dan dia kembali bahagia.